Welcome to our channel. We're so glad to have you here with us today. Today we're diving into a fascinating and often misunderstood topic, the psychology of ignoring women. This is a subject that has intrigued many and has significant implications for our relationships and mental well-being. You know, I've seen this time and time again in my work as a psychologist. It's a pattern that can be incredibly damaging, yet it's more common than you might think. People use all sorts of unhealthy communication patterns, and ignoring someone is right up there at the top. Whether it's in romantic relationships, friendships, or even professional settings, the act of ignoring can have profound effects. It's hurtful, it's confusing, and it never solves a thing. In fact, it often makes situations worse, leading to feelings of rejection, low self-esteem, and even depression. We're going to unpack the reasons why some folks engage in this behavior. From fear of confrontation to a lack of communication skills, there are many underlying factors. And I guarantee you, by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new understanding of what's really going on beneath the surface. Stay tuned to uncover the 8 must-know reasons behind this behavior. Each reason is a piece of the puzzle, helping us to see the bigger picture. We're going to take you through each reason step by step and give you the insights you need to recognize these patterns, protect yourself, and build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. We'll also provide practical tips and strategies to help you navigate these challenging situations. Let's get started on this journey to better understanding and healthier communication. Okay, reason number 1, why some people ignore women, the power play. This isn't just a random act of neglect, it's a calculated move. It's about asserting dominance in a relationship, a misguided attempt to establish control. Let me tell you something. Healthy relationships are built on equality and respect. Mutual understanding and shared values are the cornerstones of any strong partnership. When both parties feel valued and heard, the relationship thrives. But some individuals, they haven't quite grasped that concept. They struggle with the idea of equality and instead resort to power plays. This often stems from their own insecurities and a need to feel superior. They think ignoring someone, especially a woman, gives them some kind of upper hand. It's a tactic to make the other person feel less important, to undermine their confidence and self-worth. They think it's about control, about showing who's boss. This behavior is often a reflection of their own fears and inadequacies. They believe that by diminishing others, they can elevate themselves. They might go silent after an argument, refuse to acknowledge your needs, or just generally act like you're invisible. This silent treatment is a form of emotional manipulation designed to make you feel powerless and dependent. It's a way to try and diminish you, to make you feel small and insignificant. This can lead to a cycle of emotional abuse where the victim constantly questions their own worth and validity. But here's the truth. It's a sign of weakness, not strength. True strength lies in vulnerability, in the ability to communicate openly and honestly. A strong person doesn't need to belittle others to feel powerful. It's a cowardly way to avoid dealing with conflict directly and honestly. Instead of addressing issues head-on, they choose to sidestep them, leaving the other person in a state of confusion and hurt. And let me tell you, it's a major red flag. If someone consistently uses these tactics, it's a clear indication that they are not ready for a healthy, balanced relationship. It's a sign that they have their own issues to work through. If you're in a relationship where this is happening, you need to ask yourself some tough questions about whether this is the kind of dynamic you want in your life. Reflect on your own needs and boundaries. Remember, you deserve to be in a relationship where you are respected and valued. Don't settle for anything less. Reason number 2 is all about emotional detachment. It's a complex and often misunderstood aspect of human relationships. Some people, they're just plain scared of intimacy. The thought of letting someone get close terrifies them. They're afraid to open up, to be vulnerable, to let someone truly see them. This fear can stem from past experiences where opening up led to pain or betrayal. So what do? They build walls, they shut down, they ignore, they create barriers to protect themselves from potential hurt. They might pull away when things start to get serious, or shy away from any conversation that delves into feelings. This avoidance becomes a defense mechanism. They might even disappear for days without a word, leaving you wondering what in the world is going on. This sudden withdrawal can be confusing and hurtful. Look, I get it, opening yourself up to someone can be scary. It requires trust and the willingness to be seen for who you truly are. But running away from your emotions? That's not the answer. Avoiding your feelings only postpones the inevitable confrontation with them. It only leads to more pain, more loneliness, and more isolation, both for the person doing the ignoring and the person being ignored. Emotional detachment might seem like a safe haven, but in reality, it creates a prison of solitude. The key is to find healthy ways to cope with these fears. Journaling, meditating, or talking to a trusted friend or therapist can help. By addressing these emotions head-on, you can build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Remember, vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a strength that fosters genuine connections. Now let's talk about reason number 3, fear of rejection. This one's a biggie. You see, deep down, some folks are terrified of being rejected, of not being good enough. So they develop this preemptive strike mentality. They figure, if I ignore her first, she can't hurt me. It's a defense mechanism, a way to protect their own ego. They might avoid making plans, hold back their true feelings, or even ghost you completely. But here's the thing about fear, it feeds on itself. The more you let it control you, the stronger it gets. And the irony is, by trying to avoid rejection, they often end up creating the very situation they fear most. Chapter 4. Manipulation tactics. Reason number 4 is a tough one to swallow. Manipulation. That's right, some people use ignoring as a tactic, a way to get what they want. They might give you the silent treatment to try and guilt you into doing something their way, or they might withhold attention and affection as a way to punish you for some perceived wrongdoing. It's all about control, about keeping you off balance and insecure. Let me be crystal clear. This is not okay. It's a form of emotional abuse, plain and simple. If you recognize this pattern in your own relationship, you need to set some strong boundaries and get yourself out of that toxic situation. Chapter 5. Lack of interest. Sometimes the reason for ignoring is a lot simpler than we might think. Reason number 5 is just plain and simple lack of interest. Look, not every connection is meant to be. Sometimes someone might ignore you because they're just not feeling it. They might not be attracted to you, they might not share your interests, or maybe they're just not looking for anything serious, and you know what? That's okay. It's part of life. The important thing is to recognize the signs and move on. Don't waste your time and energy on someone who's not giving you the same in return. You deserve better than that. Chapter 6. Testing boundaries. Now let's talk about reason number 6, testing boundaries. Some people, they like to play games. They might ignore you as a way to see how far they can push you, to test your limits. They might disappear for a while and then reappear as if nothing happened, just to gauge your reaction. They want to see how much you'll put up with, how desperate you are for their attention. This kind of behavior is immature and disrespectful. It's a sign that they're not ready for a healthy adult relationship. Don't fall for it. Set those boundaries firm and high, and don't be afraid to walk away if they can't respect them. Chapter 7. Personal issues. Reason number 7 runs a little deeper. Personal issues. Sometimes people have their own baggage, their own demons they're battling. They might have past traumas, insecurities, or even mental health struggles that are causing them to shut down and withdraw. They might not even realize they're doing it, or they might not have the tools to deal with their emotions in a healthy way. Now, this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does offer some context. If you care about this person, encourage them to seek professional help. But remember, you can't fix them. You can only control your own actions and reactions. Chapter 8. Social conditioning. And finally, reason number 8, social conditioning. Let's face it, we live in a society that often sends mixed messages about gender roles and relationships. Some men are taught from a young age to suppress their emotions, to be stoic and unemotional. They might have grown up seeing unhealthy communication patterns modeled in their own families. This can lead to them feeling uncomfortable expressing their feelings directly, and they might resort to ignoring as a way to cope. Now, this is not an excuse, but it's important to understand the societal factors that can contribute to this behavior. We all have a role to play in challenging these outdated norms and creating a more open and communicative society. So there you have it, the 8 reasons why some people, particularly men, might ignore women. Remember, communication is key in any relationship. If you're being ignored, don't suffer in silence. Address the issue head on, set those boundaries, and don't be afraid to walk away if your needs aren't being met. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on psychology and relationships. We need to keep these conversations going, folks. See you next time.